Hello, happy Friday. I still love Fridays, even though I don't work in an office or anything anymore. So happy Friday from the wonderful slopes. Let's just see the vista outside. There it is, pretty cloudy today compared to the glorious sunny days that we've had these last few days. So I felt like I was winning at life when we'd organised a couple of meetings with the team this morning, because that's not really what I want to go out there skiing for. So continuing now the theme for this week, which is time management. Because if you are efficient with your time, you will create more free time. I mean that you're not just a slave to your business. So that's the important part. So today I want to talk about streamlining your communications. This may be something that you have experienced, which is that you suddenly find you have so many different channels that people can communicate with you on, whether that be WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, emails, maybe multiple email accounts, maybe you're using something like Slack as well, text messages, phone calls, the list goes on. Now, the problem with having multiple communication channels like this is, for one, it feels really overwhelming, and for two, it's actually really distracting. So this is something that we changed how we were operating a few months ago, and it has been a game changer, because Dave and I were just feeling like we were constantly being bombarded with questions, not just from our team, but also if you're on social media too and you're wanting to help people reach out too. So it can be really overwhelming. So for us, we made a really big decision, and that was that internal emails were banned. This was, we were finding we were having team chats on emails, and then we have our task management system, Asana. We'd have tasks on there, and then you can also do chats on tasks on there as well. And then we had Slack, and so it was just, quite often you'd want to go back and just look at what was agreed for something, but it was really hard to actually go and find that channel. So we made the decision to ban all internal emails. So now all of our communication goes through two key channels. One is Asana, and I'll show you that in a second. And the other one is now Teams. Teams is the equivalent of Slack. This was something that we moved over to at the end of last year. So Office 365, it's all very much integrated platform between the likes of like Word and OneDrive, but also then the team chat and sharing too. So it's the equivalent of Slack. So if it is something that is task specific, so if someone in the team needs to take an action, then our internal rule is that it goes on Teams. It goes on Asana. If it's just more of a clarification question or a slight discussion, then that goes on Teams, and we have different channels. Now, one of the key things that I wanted to share today was the importance of the @ mentioned. Now, I don't know if you have been aware of this in the past or not. I'd seen it, but I didn't really know what it means. So the @ mentions, like when you got the @ sign, like you have on like Twitter, the @ followed by the name of whatever person that is. Now with tools like Asana and Slack and Teams, if you use the @ mentioned, you get additional options in terms of what you actually get notified about. And I just wanted to show this actually on Asana. So if I spin this around, let's just go to Asana. So on Asana, if you are using this as a tool, which I highly recommend you do, you have got not only your list of tasks, but also you have your inbox. And your inbox here this is where the @ mentioned element really comes into its own, and I wish I'd known this sooner. So on your inbox, if you haven't used the filters, what you'll end up with is just a massive old list of every single task that you are tagged on in some way or other, you'll get notified about, and it's just a stream of endless mayhem basically. But if you use the filtering up the top here and filter by this @ mentioned here, then you'll only see in there what tasks you've actually been tagged into by using that @ mentioned, whether it's in the comments or in the description, which is great. So rather than having loads of different emails going through, it all comes into your inbox here, which is all very much linked to your tasks. And you've got this very easy way to, once you've read something, you archive it, which then goes into your archive over here, which is a whole long list of things that you have dealt with. So this is brilliant because it really streamlines what you actually need to be involved in. And if you can get really strict about when that app mentioned is actually getting used in your organisation, then in your inbox should be a real streamlined version of what actually requires your attention. So that is great. The same is also true of Teams. So again, same kind of concept to Slack, where you have multiple channels. So let's just go on over to there quickly. Spin this around. So in Teams, same concept here where you have got all the different channels for what your team's going to get involved in. And let's just go here for general. Oh, there's a nice picture of a waffle. You can, when you're communicating with your team, same thing again. If you use the app mentioned, so let's just take @Lizzie as an example. If I message with Lizzie tagged in this way, her notifications are different to if I was just to write something without that. And so it means that you only really get notified and brought into things if your presence is actually required. And we found this is a really good way to mean that only the people who need to be involved get notified. So you need to go into the settings in whichever platform you're using, whether it's something like Slack or something like Teams, and just decide what you get blipped for and what you don't. And if you can really streamline all of that, your headspace will be on what it needs to be, not trying to simultaneously respond to a million different channels, which means you'll be more efficient, get more stuff done, and then you can go skiing. Say no more. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.